Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 89, and my special guest, Sarah Hallum. Sarah, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. It's a pleasure.
Well, you're welcome. I'm so excited to get started with us today, but first you cover Fort Worth, Tarrant, Ellis, Johnson counties here in the DFW area. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing that?
Well, our team has started with JPAR February 2017. Mm-hmm. Been in the business since '99 with my father in Texas Panhandle. We flipped homes. I remember being a senior in high school, and just real estate was the family business, family talk. But we were also teachers. And so that's what we've been. We started in 2017.
Right. So you grew up with real estate, basically?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's still going on today.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at some of our most amazing real estate professionals come from teachers and nurses.
Yes,
right?
That's where I started off my career. As a head volleyball coach and teaching, and then retired. When I got down to Ellis County, had an opportunity and said, let's go full time.
Let's go full time and do it. You know, are there some things in sports and volleyball, what amazing sport, that translate to business?
Absolutely. Mindset, leadership, perseverance, and work ethic. Right. I would say are some key things that I brought in. How to listen, be a good listener, taking wisdom and applying that wisdom was another way of, I would surround myself with great coaches to improve my coaching, always learn and apply.
So there's all those analogies from sports to business that I love. Well, so let's unpack it. You're having an amazing month coming into the end of the year. Your best year ever?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have more than doubled. More than doubled our last year. We are set right now, probably close to 15 to 20 million if we finish strong. So not if, but when. When.
Yes,
that's a good,
when we finish strong.
I did my numbers and when. Yes.
There we go. So what do you attribute? What adjustments did you make? What things did you change in your business plan from last year to this year that allowed you to double?
I don't know if I changed anything. I just made it better. I knew where my sources were coming from. I knew what was working for us. I knew when to hire and fire the right people. Right. And then I just went and loved on people and provided a service. I think it just is making sure we're always thinking outside the box and doing things that maybe not everybody else is doing.
So you in a sense didn't change a lot. You just got more focused.
Absolutely, yes.
And I love what you said is you knew what was working and did more of it.
Yes, that's absolutely. Yeah. It's true.
So how do you primarily generate your business? Do you cold call? Do you referral? Do you have a combination of those? What?
Sure. We are heavily referral based. We love to have a niche of Homes for Heroes in providing service, which we know that teachers and police officers and firefighters are loyal. Right. As well as they're a great source of referral. So I always look at people when I have a conversation, maybe not doing business with that certain person, but looking at people as an opportunity of extension. So when I look at someone, I'm selling myself to you, but I know that you're going to touch 10 to 20 more people, so I look through you. Oh,
what a great outlook. So you're looking at the long-term value, particularly of every relationship in a sense. I mean, I know it's not just money, it's a relationship, but in terms of the business component, there's a long-term value of every relationship.
Absolutely.
It's not just a transaction.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was taught with my grandfather being a farmer and my other grandfather being a preacher and my dad still being a teacher by choice, but in real estate, self-made millionaire, by giving the shirt off your back and don't expect anything and you'll be blessed in return.
Right. You got a preacher, teacher, and a farmer.
There's nothing like it.
There you go. You got it all covered.
I do. Yeah. Yeah, and saw it daily and still live it daily, what they taught me.
So those things they taught you, like what are the key things that you've carried forward?
That work ethic is a daily mindset of you've got to get up, you got to sow the seeds in the farmer and know that you've got to cultivate them and love on them, and it takes time. And that if you expect it quickly in this business, you're probably going to be disappointed. Right. So I learned that when we cultivate and love on people, your blessings will all of a sudden be in the next month and months to come, and you see all your work. And you have to be patient in this business. And so if you expect it quickly, it's really difficult sometimes and frustrating.
Sarah, for me, that's so important because I see so many folks, they get a lot of business and then they stop sewing, and then they have no business. And so they have this up, down business. You've been able to more normalize it.
Absolutely. Talking with relationships when I'm out in public, we talk, how are you? I get to know the person and get to know their values and their love and their kids and what sports, and being approachable and human and not always being in sell, but providing a service and showing results is a key thing. Right. So I really post a lot on results and our service and being out there, and we provide things up front. Investing in your business. I thought with JPAR, the first thing that I heard JP say back when I first joined was swag. And I've always said that set really home to me, because spend money and invest in your business was something that I didn't quite understand, but I knew I had to do. And then having a work ethic, attitude, and game, that naturally came with being competitive and coaching. So I think you always have to invest, and I invest in others when I expect nothing in return.
Right. Something you said really resonates, and I think the audience should pick up on this, is Google just did a research that basically shows why they hire real estate agents is trust and results.
Yes.
Trust and results. It's not about the brand. It's not about all these other things, but trust and results. And so you emphasize that you promote your results. And how do you do that in a way that doesn't seem, braggy or flashy or...
Yeah. I post with just talking about it, and we did, one comes into mind. It was a canceled listing that we have in a specific subdivision.
Right.
And I worked that subdivision, and that homeowner was getting frustrated with her listing and came to one of our open houses. Didn't know her, but I was doing a phenomenal open house, got a call. She came to us, said, I need help. My instinct was Thursday she called us. Friday we were restaging. That night we had pictures, and we're under contract in a couple of weeks. It was showing. It's not talking, it's doing. And I think that becomes the trust. Communication is key.
Right.
That builds the trust. But with that, I think you can't just talk the game. You gotta do what you say you're going to do.
And so what I just heard too is you take massive action.
Yes.
You didn't let the grass grow under your feet. I mean, you got into action.
Yes.
And moved and showed your professionalism and executed your system.
Absolutely. It became natural. In the baseball hat, no makeup, T-shirt, and it was in there getting it done. And so I think that says a lot. You don't have to always be makeup and hair done. I think that people like you to be human.
Yeah, you don't have to be the glamour shot every time. Well, so what would you share with the audience about being successful in this business?
Well, I think, again, it takes patience. The biggest thing for me, and I have a wonderful teammate that's been through this since day one. She was actually my past client. Right. I always look and turn negative into positive. Okay. I always see value and promote that. And with Reese, she is my licensed assistant. Right. She's also our buyer's agent. I would say that our growth is she is my biggest fan and I'm her biggest cheerleader. And I have put that in place with anybody I come across, because initially I want my clients, my past clients, any of my relationships to be my biggest fan. But before that, I'm their biggest cheerleader, whether it's their cheering for their kids on the sports, that my daughters, whatever it is. If it's their business, I promote others so that they become my biggest fan.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And so as you've developed that, you basically have a growth mindset.
Yes.
This mindset that, every failure really is an opportunity. Every mistake is a way to improve. Did you develop a growth mindset naturally, or did you have to work at that?
I always question that. That was, I always ask certain people, especially my husband, when you have the analyticals and then you have the ones that are just common sense. Are you born with it? Right. Or are you taught? Did you learn it with your parents? I really think that the growth mindset has been taught in my family. I've had some great role models with my mom and the matriarch, especially the men, by showing that you work hard. And it doesn't matter, again, what you don't expect a whole lot, and I promise blessings will come. And I think that's been taught. And then I have pushed that as my why, as my daughters. Right. They go with me. They help stage, they clean, they vacuum, and I think that's another trust that a lot of my clients really appreciate, is that I'm showing my daughters how to work in the business too.
Yeah, your work ethic.
Absolutely.
Now, with sports, though, that had to be part of your growth mindset too, because you didn't win every game. Right, I'm assuming.
Right. No, we didn't.
Yeah. And so that came as part of your sports background as well, whether it's sports or band or theater, they all have.
Absolutely.
Common
To compete.
Yeah.
I hate to lose. I want to always be the best. And if not, I want to figure out who is the best, make sure I'm surrounded by the best, and then mimic, and then add to, don't change the wheel, but listen. I think you have to be a good listener of wisdom, and sometimes being quiet and watching is the best way to grow. And so, in sports, I can remember the day looking around, not being fulfilled as a head coach, but seeing all the accolades and all the awards that I had gotten in Coach of the Year, and knowing that there was more out there. And going home, my husband said, just go do it. And 6 weeks later, I was licensed and went in and resigned from a great job.
Wow.
And by faith, I had a goal. I was coaching freshman girls basketball in the morning and showing houses in my conference period. And I knew when I was going to have an executed contract and closing. It was the last week of my last year of coaching that I had my first closing. And then in return, marriage is a motivator. I think you have to surround yourself with the right people.
So was that scary?
It can be. Again, it goes back to my parents and the people that I had around me was a huge part of that they were my biggest cheerleaders. So yes, it was, but I knew I was going to make it work because there was no other choice. And you were surrounded by this support mechanism, support group. Now, when you started and you took that leap of faith, I'm assuming it wasn't easy. And was there ever a time you just said, well, I'm going to go back to coaching? I mean, I'm going to throw in the towel? Good question. No. Because I purposely would tell people, and because they knew I was good at well, you can go back? I said, no, I'm retired. And they're like, you're too young to be retired. I say that with purpose because I knew that it was a mindset. Yeah, okay. It goes back to the mindset. I'm retired. And I never, that would make and remind me to keep going forward. And I love and have the passion. You got to have passion for what you want to do. And I truly have passion for people. This career has made me younger, control of my time. I look at being able to be a better mom and a better wife at home. And then also it creates opportunity. When financial teachers do things, but maybe the financial's not always there. And so, I'm retired. You're retired. I love it. What a great mindset. I'm retired. It's like Cortez, burning the ships in a sense. You burnt the ships. There ain't no going back, right? Not going back. Yeah. Well, so I've really enjoyed getting to know you a little bit and sharing your story. As we wrap up this episode, is there any last-minute words of wisdom that you want to share, anything that we didn't cover that the audience would get value from? Yeah. I would say look at everything as an opportunity, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. There's always something to gain, and growth mindset is huge. And then, of course, surround yourself with people that are your biggest fan. And in return, before that, you need to be their biggest cheerleader, because that is huge in my business, is making sure that service above else is number one. Think outside the box and do things that maybe not everybody else is doing. Yeah. Be a little creative, be a little innovative. Yeah. And when the person in front of you is the most important, absolutely, then everything else kind of falls into place. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you soon on another episode of Success Superstars.